for tea. Sit somewhere else. I'm collaging my niche right now. Why, you ask? This is all I have so far. Yeah, so I'm going to cover that in magazines. I'm not sure how I want to do it yet, so for right now, I'm just like scotch taping images up there. And if it ends up looking really good, like I'll Mod Podge it to the wall, you know? But like, I don't know if I want it spaced out. I don't know if I want it all straight. I don't know if I like, yeah, I'm just not sure how it's gonna look the best yet. So I'm just putting everything up there with scotch tape. That way it's easy to take off. And if it looks terrible, then no big deal, we'll just take it off, because if it looks terrible, plan B is to paint that space like a deep blue, I'm thinking. It sounds kind of basic, you know, everyone kind of does that trend, you know, like where you paint it like really dark and then like put like, make a little art wall. I don't know, I feel like I could like, I feel like the easy route with this space, that little niche, is to, you know, paint it a dark tealy green blue, and then put like a mirror in there with like little frames or something. But I mean, I feel like we've just seen that so much all over Pinterest, and the magazines could look chuggy or a little bit chintzy in there, but there is a chance that it could turn out looking really cool. And maybe the images from these W magazines I have tons of them. I have about 20 of these. The images from these magazines are really inspirational to me. They're really inspirational. You know, they're just like cool, like really artsy. Like, I don't know, I just like love the photos W magazine takes. And so, yeah, it could end up being like inspirational for a while. I'm just getting nervous that like I'm gonna put up all these like images, and then like in a year, in 6 months, I'm gonna like get sick of it, you know, like get sick of the aesthetic. Like, what if the aesthetic of the pictures I pull like aren't timeless? So I have to be really careful in picking more timeless photos rather than photos that I think are like cool in the moment, you know? Like I saw a photo of like a model holding like a Dior saddlebag, but it's like, saddlebags are like so out of style already, so it's like I don't want to be putting that on the wall, you know? I just have to be careful of things like that. So, yeah. I feel like people don't realize there's such a method to my madness. Like I'm always like, oh yeah, just doing things for like fun. Like I was not going to explain my whole thought process, but it just naturally came out. But yeah, usually when I do art projects, I have like a whole thought process like that, but people don't really see that side. They just kind of see the like the madness happen, and then they're like, what the fuck? Here's the thing about being a creative person, and like to be stuck on a certain outcome, or to be stuck on a certain, like, I know a lot of people have preconceived notions on what they want their final product to look like, usually when they sit down to create something. And that gets really dangerous. Like I try not to have any expectations when I'm doing a project, because that ruins it, and it like puts this like pressure of perfectionist on whatever I'm doing. So I notice like I'm very free when I create, and like I have a lot more drive to like do a lot of art projects, because I don't put so much pressure like on myself to make it like look amazing. And I've got to say, like, it always turns out great, but I think the reason I'm able to make things turn out good no matter what is because I kind of just like go with the flow, you know? Like, if something's not turning out the way I thought it was going to turn out, I know how to like pivot and kind of like trust the process, you know? And even like putting up these 4 images, or like the wall already looks totally different than what I thought it was gonna look like. And that is like the part of creating that excites me the most. Like, I love not knowing how something is going to turn out. So I think that's why like I enjoy creating things so much. And I noticed that some people, like people I hang around with, because I hang out with a lot of creative people, and then I also hang out with a lot of people who are I think everyone's creative, but who aren't as like they would say as crafty as me or whatever. And I notice like the people who say they're like not crafty, or like don't take a lot of risks when it comes to that, like creating things, I feel like it's because they put so much pressure on like it turning out good, or like fulfilling what they thought it was going to look like in their head. And it's like, it's never, like, rarely does something ever turn out the way I thought it was going to turn out, and usually it turns out just as good as I wanted the other thing to turn, just as good as I pictured it in my head, or it turns out better than I pictured in my head. And then sometimes it just doesn't turn out. But the thing is, like, if you never have that kind of like, if you don't put so much pressure on yourself, it's like easier to want to create more, you know? Because like I feel like it ruins the fun when you're like obsessed with something turning out perfect. I only know the feeling because I never do it with myself, but I only know the feeling because sometimes someone will like ask me to do something for them, you know? I can't think of an example, like, but let's say it's like, no one would ever ask me to do this, but to write invitations for them, like, let's say, like in calligraphy. Well, if the person who's like asking me to do something for them is like trying to put pressure on me to make it turn out perfect, it's like I'm immediately like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do this at all. So something that like was supposed to be fun like turns into like a fucking like chore. So yeah, oh my god, you guys, I hate working for people who like do that to me, because it's like nothing ever turns out great. Because it's like once you get in someone's head, it's like once you get into someone's head, they're like trying to I noticed that I'll try to like fulfill what they're picturing, and like if I'm trying to fulfill what they're picturing in their head, then it's like no matter what I create is going to turn out terrible. When people give me like the freedom and the space to just like create something for fun and don't have like put pressure on me for it to like turn out good, like that's the thing. It's like if you give me something to do, I won't accept the task unless I know it's going to turn out good. But I hate the people that put that like extra, like it's almost like I absorb like their stress, and it's like it's never good, because I'm like, you're not going to get a good outcome out of me if you put pressure on me like that. I feel like as I gotten older, I've just become stronger to where like I don't take things like that on as much, and I'm like, oh well, if they're gonna be disappointed by it, they're gonna be disappointed by it, like not my problem, you know? But I think when I was younger, like in my 20s, I'd be like, no, they have to like love it. It has to be, even if, especially if someone's like paying you to do something for them, because you want them to be happy with it. But it's like, yeah, everything's just a risk, you know? That's why, like, as an artist, it really is so important. I think the number one important thing is just confidence, like confidence in yourself. Because if you have confidence in your failures, you know, it's like you can't be stopped, you know? So, yeah. It's also knowing when to say no. Like, there's some things that you can do for some people, some things that, like, like, if someone asks me for a favor, yeah, like, sure, I can do it. Like, I can do that project for you, but, like, is it going to be good for my self-esteem or bad for my self-esteem? Because sometimes there's people who you know are just never going to be happy, like, no matter what, you know? Like, with no matter what you create for them, they're, like, never going to be really happy with it. And it's like, why even put yourself like through the stress of like doing favors for them anymore? Because it's like, you know, they're just not gonna, they can't help it. Like, some people just can't help it. Like, anything that's like attached to them, they hate, and they just want anything that you have. So I feel like I've worked with it's sad. Like, I've worked with people like this where they don't like trust their own style, you know? So like anything that's like about them, like on them, an extension of them, they don't trust, and they're like, no, I just want like what you have, or like I just want like the aesthetic you have. And it's like, people like that, even if like you give them like a part of you, like create for them, they're still not going to be like happy with it. And it's like, that's just like their own issues, you know? So you have to be like either comfortable with just like being like, that's their issue, like whatever, like I got paid at the end of the day. Or like, for me, it's never really worth that. Well, it depends on the person, you know. If I never have to see them again, it's like I'll do it once. But like, I hate being in that energy of like knowing that someone like isn't happy with my work that they paid me for, and like knowing that like I did the best I could do. It could be like the most amazing thing I've ever created, but they're not going to give me that. Like, I feel the most validation when people are like actually like happy with what I give them and like feel like appreciative. It's not even about the money for me. But yeah. Yeah, when people like really appreciate my work, or like what I'm creating for them, it's like so special. It truly is. Like, that's the best part of like being an artist, I think, is like when someone like asks you to like create something for them, whether they're paying you or not, and then you do it, and they're like, they like absolutely are like in love with it. And like, yeah, it's not even like, sometimes they can't even find words to like express the gratitude, like to thank you. But like, it's like, you know, like when someone like looks at something and their like face lights up, or they're like in complete shock, like after you like show it to them, it's like, it's truly like, it's like one of the best feelings in the world, I think. Like, it's my favorite thing. Like, that's just one thing about life that I'm like, yeah, it's the best. For some reason, feeling kind of weird today. Don't know why. Ugh. I'm making a homemade pizza. God, I gotta tell you, I feel so weird today. Things are feeling a little bit eerie. A little bit eerie here. That's the only way I know how to describe it. I feel like low energy, and also, I feel like something's not right. Something's not right. Not in like a scary way, like something's not right, like something bad. Just like something weird, I think. You know, just something, I don't know, new. Maybe it's something new. I don't know. I just feel weird. like anytime my life changes a lot, all of a sudden it's like sniffing something different in the air. I don't like a lot of pizza sauce. Sorry, I don't know how to get both the pizza in the shot and me in the shot. Who's more important, the pizza or me? I would say me, but I feel like some people would beg to diff. Okay. Mozzarella. Now nudies. Oh, should I just cut it and put it on, or do you think I need to shred it? I could just cut it thin, huh? I don't know. Which one do you think, guys? Should I shred? Should I shred the mozzarella? Keep shredding it, or should I just put chunks? I think I'm just gonna use the shredded and then I'm gonna do chunks. I can feel it. Stop screaming at me. Stop screaming at me. You just think you can get whatever you want, Newts. You just think you can get whatever you want. Jeez, so funny. When I tell you I gave her the littlest piece, like she's happy with like truly the smallest little piece. Like, are all cats like that? Like, I give her like the tiniest little nibble and she's done. She's like, I need to watch my figure. So I think she does find it important to like keep in shape, because we don't like monitor her food. We just like put a bunch of food in a big dish, like in a dog dish, and then like she eats whenever she wants throughout the day. So it's not like she has like feeding time, you know, like a dog. Like she just like eats when she wants, which I just think is so cute. She's like a little human. It's like, I'm hungry. Yeah, she's just not an overindulger, and I respect that about her, you know? Like, she is here to take care of herself, you know? And I like that. I can respect that. I can respect the lady who respects herself, you know? She even cleans herself. Like, she's not even like a dog. It's not even like we have to bathe her, because she cleans herself. And she's always just like so freshly groomed, because she just licks all day.